bring up something you put on the rundown. So, talk about New York banning drill music, because actually this ties into Kanye again for me. But what do you want to talk about?
Yeah, and just so I don't like misquote what's going on, I don't know if they're necessarily actually planning to ban it. I think they were just, at least the mayor, correct, was discussing,
correct,
whether or not it's contributing to crime and like ways they can kind of solve this issue that the music is causing. I don't know if they're outright hoping to ban it from the radio or anything, but in general, regardless, I think, and people in hip hop have been talking about this stuff for the longest time, but I think we need to have a real honest conversation. And the only people that can really change anything are the people making this music and the powers that be, about the music that's being created and the violence and crime that a lot of times it does glorify. Now, I know that a lot of these artists are merely telling their story and things like that, but with drill specifically, at least from what I see on these, when they interview on these outlets and everything, it really does stir real life beef. And it's not like video games or movies. It's not that argument of, well, video games and movies don't cause violence. And that's because those art forms aren't, like, everyone knows they're fake. Like, you're not going to play, Call of Duty and then go outside and start fucking throwing grenades at people unless you're a straight up psychopath.
Right.
But the thing with this music is they're literally calling out people like, oh, I shot your mans, like taunting them, saying like, where you at? Send the addy, all kinds of stuff that really does escalate these beefs, especially if the song blows up and it's like a poppin' song. Just like with the Tuka thing, everyone's saying smoke Tuka. Kids who've never been to Chicago, don't even know what Tuka is, are saying it. And I'm sure gang members from the opposing side who hear that shit, it just infuriates them.
Sure.
And makes them want to kill anyone who is the cause of that. So I feel like in this community, we're just like dishonest about the negative dark side of hip hop because it sounds good and it's fun, especially if you're not involved in it.
Yeah, dude, I agree with that. But it's almost that time like the whole like chicken and the egg like argument, like which came first, right? Like it's like they're rapping about this shit because they grew up in the worst fucking areas. So like if we clean up the areas, is like that gonna go away? I don't know. And what's wild though, as we get older, and then maybe we become the boomers, like I've honestly, you tell me how you felt. Like I've seen like my preference go away from like the violent music, right? Like that's why like the Amines, the Kanyes, the Drakes, the Baby Keems, like that's the shit that literally grabs my attention. Like I can listen to Selection Radio for 15 hours straight. Not one person's killed on a track, right? It's all like beautiful ballads, great lyrics about living life, right? So it's funny how like when we're kids, like this shit's fun because it's like, oh, like it's like it has to be fake, right? And then you get older, like, these people are actually like killing each other over this, and like, why is everyone dying? Like, I don't listen to this shit anymore. Right? Yeah, we listen to it. I'm not like, there's songs that I fucking enjoy, I'm sure, but like the day-to-day shit, it's not like even Gunna. Like, I don't really think anyone's dying on Gunna songs. Like, it's about him looking fucking amazing and getting girls. Like that's pretty much all it's about.
Yeah, he's being dripped up and dripped out.
Yeah. So even like that. So I mean, again, he's probably the biggest rapper out right now, to be perfectly honest. So I mean, I guess there's something to be said. Like maybe the biggest guys out aren't talking about killing. But I mean, then we have a Nardo, was it Nardo Wick?
Nardo Wick, yeah.
Yeah. And then like Lil Durk, who's massive right now, and he's talking about. So again, it is like there are some people like that, but I don't know. I feel better about the state of hip hop that it's not like the top guys aren't doing that, bro. Like literally the top guys in hip hop right now, Kanye and Drake.
Yeah,
like, they're not talking about killing anyone on a fucking song. Like it's just like about their life and experiences.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, and I think the vast majority of artists that are getting a platform aren't straight up talking about killing. So definitely don't want to make it sound like we're knocking the genre or that people should be banned from performing. But I think sometimes it's a little unnerving. Like I was watching the Rolling Loud live. I think it was in Miami, not like physically there, but on TV.
Yeah.
And they were interviewing some drill artists and like, they just looked like they didn't want to be there. They couldn't explain like why what they liked about the music. Like it just felt very like they were, let me exploit the shit out of this for money and get clout and like be out. Like I don't want to be here. I don't want to fuck hip hop, like unless it's making me money directly. Like I just got this sense of they didn't care about the culture. And I know like when it comes to white artists, like a lot of people in the industry have a tendency to jump on them like, oh, you're not about the culture. But what about some of these dudes who are like literally in it for the money and perpetuating XYZ, but like that's where the story ends. They're not they don't care about the craft or whatever the case is. And again, like if they're more power to them if they're out the hood and stuff. But the problem I see is they're not out the hood. They're like financing, you know, negative shit probably, and like don't want to evolve and don't want to do this. And I know that takes time too, because a lot of these dudes are like 16. So I don't want to put too much pressure or responsibility on them in the sense of, oh, they need to figure this shit out right away. But I just hope and wish that there was like more OGs in the industry to like steer these dudes in the right direction, so that it didn't always end up in another episode of us being like, man, like this dude was on his way and if only he had security and wasn't here and there. Like I think those stories for us have just gotten so old. I'm just like, dude, isn't it obvious? Like, hey, like something needs to change.
Which is why I think the take by the mayor of New York wasn't a wild take. Like I think the headline must have been like, yo, what are you talking about? It's not, don't blame hip hop. It's like, well, bro, like we gotta, I mean, I'm not saying it's hip hop's fault, but I can see why he's like, should we not? Yeah, again, I can see why he would say something like that, because yeah, bro, like you're propelling this type of environment, and the kids who may have an option of going left or right are choosing your path because you're making it seem like the best thing in the world. So I can see it, bro. So yeah, it's not a wild take at all. But something I did want to bring up, bro, because it's not in my heat of the week, but last week, Kanye, 5Yo Foreign, and Alicia Keys dropped the song City of Gods, which is a dope song. It's almost like an Empire State, like Jay-Z, Alicia Keys Part 2. The song's fine, dude. Like, and I actually enjoyed Kanye on it, like production-wise and lyrics. But bro, well, the funny thing is when you put that on the rundown about banning drill music, I was thinking during this song, bro, at some point is anyone gonna say all these fucking beats sound the fucking same? like this shit's like, I get it, bro. Like it's a type of music. I understand that. But like, dude, all dance hall beats aren't the same. You know what I mean? Like, dude, all these drill beats are the fucking same, bro. Like, so I want to ban it just for that. I'm like, yo, where is the creativity, dog? Because this shit is getting so repetitive, which is why I think we all love Pop Smoke's first album, because like it didn't just sound like the same shit like for 28 songs. You know what I mean? It was like different variations of him on different beats. So I don't know, bro. I don't know how you felt when you heard the track, but I was like, all right, this is fun. And this is like dope to hear these three different voices. But bro, these beats, bro, like if you had a thing, like, you know, like like on like a machine, like a music machine, and you just play like 14 different drill beats, man, there'll be minimal variations.
I mean, that's kind of how I feel about reggaeton, to be honest. I think it's because the core like drum pattern or whatever is always the same, kind of like reggaeton, but then the background melodies, like the samples and shit, those always tend to be different. But like as someone who isn't, I do like reggaeton, I'm just not a fan. Like I don't seek it out or like go to concerts and stuff. But so I think to someone like me, I'm like, damn, this shit sounds the same. Like I remember the first time I went to Colombia, out like by day 3, I'm like, I do not want to hear one more fucking reggaeton song. Otherwise I'm flying home. But to someone who's like a fan, like Danny, for instance, like he could listen to that shit for like a month straight and sense the differences in the beat. So I guess it is partially a matter of preference too.
It might be. Again, I love drill music, bro. Again, I love 5Yo, like I love all those guys. But fuck, dude, I heard this song and I was like, yo, this is the same. Like it's almost like they have like the same drill sample and just throw it on and like change it, like you said, like change the stuff around it and make it slightly different. But I was like, bro, like we've heard this song before. Like, okay, you're talking about New York this time, but like I've heard this beat, dog. Like, I don't know. For me, I was just like, so when I saw your rundown thing of like banning drum, like, yeah, dude, ban it, bro, because I'm over this shit. Like, it's the same shit over and over.
Yeah, that's funny. I mean, so like you said, I definitely do like the music. I just sometimes when I hear the whole egg chicken argument, like, well, you need to change the environment to do this. I feel like for those who do want an excuse, not saying everyone makes an excuse, but for those who do want an excuse are kind of like, all right, well, like, this is just the way I was raised. Like, I don't have to do anything. Like, the government needs to switch things up. I think it has to be like a joint effort. Like, I think they should be encouraged to change the message, but we also need to figure out a way to fix their environment in ways or give them opportunities so that they don't feel like doing drills is the only way to be entertained. But what bothers me is even when they do have the money to like get out and get away, they still want to hang out in the hood and like do the same shit they were doing, but with more money. And I'm just like, well, so you're saying you didn't have the opportunity, but now you got it and you still want to fucking do drills? Like, how does this make any sense?
Yeah, dude, I agree. And then also, there's probably a third component that we've mentioned before in episodes. Like, dude, we have a responsibility as fucking consumers and listeners. Like, bro, like, if you're so offended by this, stop listening. And trust me, they will change the content. Like, bro, they will change the content the moment you say, bro, I am not consuming this anymore. But we're not, bro. That's the sad part. Like, we can get all up in arms and like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. To go on like, these guys doing drugs and shit. Like, how can, blah, blah, blah. But dude, we still consume that shit. And dude, last I checked, I think Lucid Dreams just went diamond. You know what I mean? Like, people are still obsessed with that kind of music. So, it's really like on us too, bro. Because I'm telling you, the moment we say this is not good enough for us, we're not going to consume, and we actually stop consuming it, they will change the fucking message, bro. Like the same, I've seen it in sports, bro. Like, when people say this is getting boring, dude, that league will figure out a way to make it entertaining, dude. Like, when those, like, back in the 90s, bro, this is like a pivot on basketball, but back in the 90s, no game ever reached 100 points because, like, the rules are set up that did not happen. After time, bro, that got boring and hard to watch. Dude, now people are scoring 100 points by the third quarter, bro. Like, games are really like 130 to 120 on a nightly basis, bro, because the consumer really holds the power. So I really think it's going to be on us, man. For us, it's like, I'm tired of you guys killing yourselves. I can't let my kids listen to this shit anymore. And I won't let my kids go to your concerts anymore. So when you want us to come and spend millions, change your fucking content. And I will gladly send my kid to one of your shows. So I think it's really going to be on us, bro.
That's a good point. Yeah, as I was thinking about this topic, I was thinking to my own playlist. I'm like, I have several violent songs on there for me, obviously, that I'm not going to go outside and do anything crazy because I'm listening to it. But in my head, I was like, I should remove them then if I feel that way. Yeah. But I don't want to do that because it sounds good. Like, it makes the party feel good.
Yeah, after like 5 doesn't kill it. Yo, where the fuck is that song?
Yeah, it's easier said than done.
100%, bro. But yeah, at some point, something's gonna have to crack, bro, because dude, we can't keep losing rappers every fucking month. And like, again, if it's not a mayor, it has to be someone. But time will tell.